We all get that little flutter of nerves when it's time to introduce ourselves, right? Whether it's a new class, a big interview, or just meeting new folks, a solid self introduction is your first step to a great impression.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Ryan.
Learning to introduce yourself is incredibly important. You might need to introduce yourself without any forewarning, so you need to be prepared.
You may need to introduce yourself in English class, in a job interview, or a new hobby. You may even need to introduce yourself at a big event in front of thousands.
Today we're going to break down the self-introduction. At the end of this lesson, you will have a complete self-introduction that is ready to use.
We encourage you to share your introductions in the comment section down below. So let's start with the basics of a self-introduction. Greeting. The very first thing that you'll need to say when introducing yourself is a greeting. We have formal greetings and informal greetings. It depends on the situation you are in. Let's start with formal greetings. From the first hello, hello can be both formal and informal, but it's fine to use it in a formal situation.
So, Ryan, why is choosing the right greeting so important?
Well, Jessica, the greeting sets the tone. It's your first chance to connect. Think of it like a verbal handshake. Now, if you're in a formal setting, like a job interview, you'll want to stick with the classics. Because of that, you also have good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Timing is key. Make sure you pay particular attention to what time of day it is.
Good night is normally a send-in equivalent for goodbye. We say it when we are leaving. If you're introducing yourself in the nighttime, you would say good evening. Now it's time for the informal introduction. When you find one person you feel comfortable with, you say, hi, hey, or even, what's up? But choose a greeting that feels comfortable to you.
Your name. Now let's move on to introducing your name. You can keep it simple with I'm Ryan or get a little more formal with my name is Ryan. And if you're on the phone or in a very large convention center, then you might want to use this is or this is Ryan, which works perfectly.
And if your name is long or tricky, help people out. I'm Bartholomew, but you can call me Bart.
Location. Now let's talk location. Where you're from and where you're living, you can be straightforward with I'm from, and then the place name. I'm from India. But sometimes it's fun to add a little more. You could say, I grew up in a small town in Italy, but now I live in the heart of New York City. Or, I'm originally from India, but I've been living in London for the past 3 years.
And if you are from somewhere that is quite far from the place where you're introducing yourself, you can say, I come from. And then you can name that place. If you want to say where you grew up, you can say, I was born and raised in Canada.
Or if you want to say how long you have lived in a certain place, you can say, I've been living in London for 3 years. Qualifications. You might also want to mention your qualifications if you want to say that you are close to graduation. You can say, I'm about to graduate. You can also say, I am a marketing graduate, or I am a biology postgrad.
If you're in a professional setting, like a job interview, highlight your skills and experience. I'm a software engineer at Google. I'm a position at the company. Or I'm a manager at Starbucks. And don't forget to mention any special skills or qualifications you have. And if you want to talk about other achievements. Now, Note the preposition in versus on. You can take a course in something theoretical like physics, for example. I'm currently taking a course in physics. You can take a course on something practical like jewelry making.
Experience. If you want to discuss your previous jobs, you can say, I have several years of experience in the field. I have 3 years of experience in the neuroscience field.
Exactly. And you don't necessarily have to say field. You can say, I have 10 years of sales experience, or I've worked in the field for however long you've worked there. For example, I've worked in the accounting field for 3 years.
But if you're just meeting new people socially and you are in a more informal situation, you can keep things lighter. Share your hobbies and interests. I'm a huge fan of live music, or I love to spend my weekends hiking. And don't be shy about mentioning your family, or I come from a big family, or I have a brother, or I have a sister.
Yeah, but be careful when you try to talk about how large or how small your family is. Don't say, our 5 in our family. This isn't correct in English. In English, we say, I'm from a family plus number. I'm from a family of 4, or we are a family of 5.
And if you want to talk about how many brothers or sisters you have, you can say, I am one of 3 siblings. Siblings don't specify the gender, so you don't have to say 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Hobbies. And you might want to talk about hobbies. This is your chance to share something unique. I like running, or I'm a big fan of going tennis. The key is to make it personal and memorable.
Age. You must know how to say your age. We have the basic one. I am 26 years old. We can shorten it down to I'm 26.
If you don't want to specify your age, you can say I'm in my mid-20s. She's in her early teens and he's in his late 40s.
And here's a pro tip. Instead of just listing facts, try to connect them in a way that tells a little story. I'm Jessica, and growing up in Chicago, I was surrounded by amazing architecture, which sparked my passion for design and led me to pursue a career as an architect.
See how Ryan connected location to career? That makes it more engaging. Now, before you go out and introduce yourself, remember to practice. The more comfortable you are, the more confident you'll sound.
And most importantly, be yourself. Let your personality shine through. Now it's your turn. Take some time to write down your self-introduction. Remember all the elements: a friendly greeting, your name, where you're from, what you do, and a fun fact.
And don't forget to practice saying it out loud.
That's right. Now go out there and introduce yourself with confidence and authenticity.